Hello, 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 hello. How is it going? I'm going to grab the ideas. Okay, layer cake. I'm going to add this to movies. Go to the end. Yo, how's it going? Right now, I'm adding a movie to my movies list. I saw it in a tweet. Yellow Range Rover, Sienna Miller, British movie. I'm going over my notes. 2004. Crime, drama, thriller, mafia, action, something like that. How's it going, by the way? I have some topics today, but yeah, I was going through my notes. Perfil. Generosity, okay, interesting topic. Generosity. Wait, let's go like this. Hashtag stream. No, generosity. Hashtag stream. Then copy paste the note here. Then, by the way, this is titled unofficial status update because yeah, the compilation of things that I have put on the doc are kind of like a status update, I guess. It's like the vibe feels similar to a status update. And I guess this was the first one, 7th, that's last Friday. But I think last Friday, I'm not sure what I did. Last Friday I recorded the application or whatever, so I didn't. Had to help my uncle with moving a bed from their apartment to a storage unit. It went quite fast, so we were done quick and went to eat something. It was very tasty. But he lives in the 5th floor with no elevator, so that was a bit annoying. What did you eat? I just looked here at Honey Berlin places here. I think I mentioned this last week, right? But it was like at the very end of the stream or something that I wanted to get a list, to make a list of my Madrid places. Yeah, and if I have time at the end of this stream, I will do that here. Let's. Warum nicht? And I guess it is a status update-ish video because these topics all, well, except maybe the all alone one, all of these are kind of related to my situation right now, right? So I guess they allow for me to tell like where am I at right now. Greek. So I had some meat. I don't really know what it was. Do you remember the name? Can you say it, or is it like somewhere that you don't want? Like I don't know, like right next to your house or something like that. Greek restaurant. I went to eat a Greek food a while ago when I watched the movie. Last time I watched the movie, I went to a Greek restaurant. The problem was that it was expensive, and like to me, it feels like the kind of food that shouldn't be expensive. You know what I mean? It's like Mediterranean food, right? It's like, I don't know. It feels like the good thing about it is that it should be cheap. So if I pay 25 euros and it's like home cook, the vibe was like kind of home cooking, Greek home cooking, but if I'm paying 25 euros to eat there, it's like, okay, but then it's not like home cooking, right? Because home cooking is usually cheap. I don't know. I'm currently trying to check them up where it was to remember how the restaurant was called and then to check the menu. The one I went to, I'm going to show mine. Well, mine, it's not mine. I went to it once. Madrid Griego. Tiquitos Ergo Zorba. This one. It was super small. I think I mentioned. I probably mentioned it the week when I went. I probably mentioned it because it was probably like one of the 3 things that I did that week. So yeah, I probably mentioned that it was like really small. Yeah, it's like this, super small. It had like a couple of chairs outside also. Let's see if these. Why doesn't it let me drop into the photograph? Meh. Anyways, they have probably pictures. And yeah, it says 10 to 20 euros. I spent 25, right? So it's like 10 to 20 if you go with other people and you share something, right? Then it is like 10 to 20. But because I went alone and I got a couple of things, it kind of rises quickly. Did I write a review? I don't think so. Yes, see, this is a very shareable plate and this is probably like cheap if you share it between like 4 people, right? So it's probably like 5 euros. Well, less. It's probably like 3 euros or something shared between 4 people. And it's probably pretty filling, right? And then you get your own thing and it's like you're pretty full. But I got like a couple of things. I also drank wine that day, but wine here is cheap. I was checking at restaurants in Munich and wine is hella expensive there. It's like 8 euros or something per glass. Here it's like 4. So yeah, in Munich I'm probably not becoming a fan of wine. I had something like this. No, I had this one, the one above, which is like, yeah, I guess it's like kofta or something like this. It's like a classic. It was Sirtaki Marthan. Marthan is like a place in there, right? Ah, yeah, it's where you live actually, right? I think you've mentioned it. I like this from Google Maps, by the way. It shows you like the bike paths and all this. Sirtaki. 20-30 per person. I guess this is like the average in Germany, right? Nummer 116. Speisekarte. Wow. Kiros. Wait. Why are they out of order? Why? 116. Saftiges Lammsteak. Mit geriebenem Feta-Käse. Überbacken mit Metaxa-Sauce. What does überbacken mean? It's like over ovened, like in the oven, but over. Like, how do you say? Only the top part, right? With only heat coming from above. I know broiled. I think broiled, right? It's called broiling in English. Holy shit, 27 euros. And I had 2 beers with it, so I was thinking of buying some more. But so far I was lazy and didn't go. I mean, you already had some. Like when you put it in the oven with cheese on top. Dazu Pommes frites und Gemüsesalat. I don't know why they use dazu here. What? Why dazu? Dazu pommes dazu. It's like also or something, right? In addition, or maybe, or like with it. I don't know. I don't understand dazu. Interesting. I'll add it to the list. Guardar. Do I have a honey or something here? Honey. It's because I don't necessarily, it's not something that I came up that I kind of want to go there. It's like if I'm in the area or whatever, I can be like, huh, honey, I mentioned this, right? Let's see. Guardar, fuck it, new list. Honey. And an update, quick update. When I write something here, now I'm starting to put the date when I write it. For example, today is 15th of March 25. So for example, if I go there, it's probably going to be like what? At minimum April, May, right? Because I don't have vacations until like April. Well, it's actually pretty early, I guess. It's like next month. But yeah. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to Berlin, obviously, right? But if I were, like, it's when I can. But I'm probably not going to because I probably have to sort shit out. May, I also think I will probably start also sort shit out by May. But maybe, yeah, first, it's like the first month. Yeah, I will probably like buy an air fryer, that kind of thing, right? With my first paycheck. So yeah, that weekend, probably nothing. Next empty period, August. I'm in Spain. Probably, right? Haven't bought the tickets, but I'm probably coming back. Then next free period, Christmas, also out of Spain, right? Unless I stay, I don't know. So it's like maybe I visited but it's probably going to be like 2026 May, right? So it's like, when did I actually add this? March 25, right? That too, because it's on the side, it's not the main dish. the salad was before the meal and the pommes were on the side, were the side dish for it. Mit pommes. Mit pommes. How do you say mit pommes? Pommes. What did you have? Saftiges lamb steak. 26 pavos, eso sí. 27 euros. 27 EIPOS. In a Spanish forum, people say this as like this is how you say how you write euro in Greek, right? They using like Cyrillic, it's like e, u, r, o, but the y looks like the u looks like a y and the r looks like a p, right? So they in Spanish forum they write it like this and they say EIPOS instead of like euros. So I don't know, just for the fun of it. Yeah, because on the bills, when you have a bill, it says like euro, and then below it says EIPO, like with the Greek font. Well, not font, alphabet. By the way, I had an uzo before the meal, and I don't really like it, but it just feels right for Greek meals. I have heard of it in class because the teacher mentioned it. Right, he mentioned something like, yeah, that's like the Greek spirits liquor or whatever, right? Yeah. I'm going to write that as well. Fuck it, I don't want to write. Copy paste. Let's check how it's... Bro, it's so far away. Marzahn. I'm going to drop myself over here to see some Plattenbaus. Kein Plattenbau. Let's see. These are the Plattenbaus, right? They look nice. I like how they look, to be honest, right? It's like I legit like how they look. Dumb. Oh, you can see. Interesting. Okay. So, on to the topics. I'm going to put them a little bit here so that they're kind of readable. Generosity. This... Can't I copy the fucking link? Copy URL. Bloop. Well, let's do a last tab, for example.
Today I am going to uncover
Update. Well, quick update, I guess. Something like... Oh, well, actually, let's start back with the updating. General update. I have finished my course, right? So, yeah, I finished my course. Tomorrow, Monday, no, not tomorrow, on Monday, I have the trial that I applied for last week or whatever. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to talk about that afterwards. Then, one thing that I don't want to forget is that, well, yeah, that I want to remember is that I don't want these 2 weeks to forget about at least reading something in German, watching a couple of German YouTube videos every day, so that I don't lose. I've kind of not 5 hours per day, but more or less 5 hours per day. I've been at least somewhat exposed to German, whatever, right? So I don't know, at least keep that up a little bit. Not 5 hours, obviously, but at least like, I don't know, an hour or so of reading, doing vocabulary cards, of watching videos, especially worried about like hearing, right? Because my classes are going to be in German. So it's like, fuck it. At least to not lose completely my understanding abilities. Speaking, I don't care about it that much. I don't know. In my class, for example, there are a couple of people. Well, there is one guy who like doesn't mind asking questions all the fucking time. So I'm guessing that in Germany he will still ask questions, like or ask stupid questions all the time. So that's good for me, right? Because I don't need to ask questions myself in German. And yeah, eventually, like I will get like I will I guess get a little bit more fluent or like get the pace of the class, etc. But yeah, for the moment I'm not worried about it. I'm more worried about like actually understanding what's going on, right? I think my understanding is better than my classmates, but not by that much, right? So yeah, I don't want to get like cocky or whatever. I got the results for the B2 test, obviously passed, but with not super high notes. This was the Ergebnis. Leseversten, well, the reading was like super easy and I still failed one. I don't know which one, but don't mind. Grammar, I failed a couple of questions. Listening, I failed a lot. And the letter, yeah, kind of average letter. Don't know exactly why. But yeah, I also don't give a fuck, to be honest. It was like a fake exam in my mind, right? Because it was like, I don't know, the reading was like super easy so that everyone could pass. But yeah, the other parts, yeah, I would have liked to. Ah, yes, that's also another thing that I wanted to make. I guess I'm going to do that here before everything. Yes. Update on New Year's resolutions. I'm going to copy paste them and go a little bit over those. But yeah, essentially, as one of my New Year's resolutions was to like not like study before the tests. Yeah, in this case, I kind of fit it, but I wanted initially to study more, right? To be like elite level, right? I didn't reach that, which is understandable, right? I'm not blaming myself for not behaving like elite because the environment doesn't conduce to it. But still, right? It's no excuse, but I understand why it happened, right? And yeah, it's hard to try to be elite when the environment only favors the lowest of the low, right? When the environment is put to make the people who wouldn't make the cut to rise them up, then it's like it creates kind of disturbances in the natural order of how things should go, which doesn't make one want to give their best because they know it's useless, right? So yeah, I didn't do that. Wait. Congrats. I watched Wie Deutschland are Place Dominierte by Mango, and I thought you might also like it, but it's quite fast at points, so I don't know if you will be able to follow all the time. I mean, that means that we lost, like Spanish Art Place lost, right? I won't watch it because of that. YouTube. Sprich Deutsch, du Hurensohn. 40 minutes! He made a second one for our place, and those were basically the only 2 German videos I watched this year, not a long year, but also last year, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to add them. They're long. Yeah, I'm going to loop that back in, I guess. These videos are too long. Well, I like my suspicion is that they are too long. But it's all right. I don't mind videos that are too long, especially because I know they will be kind of repetitive and something like this. Because it's like, how can you talk for 40 minutes about Reddit's our place, right? There has to be some repetition, which for a language context is good. For a informational condensation and that kind of thing is not, but I don't give a fuck about that much, to be honest. But yeah, the video here that I mentioned, he talks a lot about that, and he was like a good discovery, a good channel that I liked, that I discovered this week. So yeah, it's related. But yeah, I'll add them. I was thinking of the videos that I wanted to watch were about trains, basically. Also because my classes are going to be about trains, so to have that vocabulary not be forgotten in these 2 weeks. Well, a lot happened. Lol. Yeah, I guess they go for a while, right? Holy 40 minutes, meanwhile you are watching a video 40 minutes long. Yeah, but this guy, he has like good structuring. I like the way he does it. He has a video called Why I Don't Like Video Essays, which I think makes decent points. This one. Why I used to hate video essays. It was an interesting video, and this one is 23 minutes long. But yeah, he's like very to the point, right? He orders information interestingly. I like that. It's what I would like to make. Not what I make, what I would like to. Like when I made my videos, like cutting the things with the keyboard a little bit and try to like put information on the screen. That's what I wanted to get to in my way. But yeah. Okay, that was like an update a little bit. Oh yeah, I was talking about the results or whatever. Yes, results, etc. Not super happy with them, but also not like super disappointed or like sad, etc. Simply, yeah. Simply the results I got given. Then the rest of the week was like absurd. Very few people came to class. They had tests yesterday. Like some of them didn't pass the speaking part. So yeah, basically everyone passed the B2 test except one. And that guy is like having a surgery or whatever. So yeah, it's also not that relevant. And then it turned out that they actually did all pass except the speaking part. So the week was like pretty kind of awkward. Not like it didn't give like a good sense of like, whoa, we are done with the course, right? It was like also the last day we had like an exam, but the exam was obviously kind of also pretty fake. And the thing that I built, this thing, Eisenbahn look and text, it worked, right? Because essentially it was this text also, but but he gave us the solutions also, so like he didn't print the thing correctly, so he printed it with the solutions already put there. So he then cancelled this exercise. These questions, they were these questions, so I got them all right. But yeah, there was a couple of people who didn't have the questions apparently because they didn't pay attention to my WhatsApp message from 2 weeks ago where I sent this link. I didn't want to like update with every update that I make to the site, right? So I just sent this thing 2 weeks ago, and if they want to check it out, check it out. But yeah, some people didn't have the questions or whatever. Still, they passed, but they had like 16 questions wrong or something like this, right? Which it's still a passing grade, so yeah, there were no consequences for like doing that wrong, and no prizes for doing it well. Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know. It ended just like that, right? Not also it ended on a bit of a strange note because the last thing the teacher said to a couple of classmates was like, "Hey, tomorrow you have to come to class," but they already had plans because it had been said that they didn't have to go to class because they had the test plus blah 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 the next day. So, and also it's like there is no need for class because if they don't pass the B1 test, then they are not going to Germany, and if they pass the B1 test, they don't really feel like they need class, right? So I don't know. It was like a little bit of a mess, and it was awkward, but yeah, it's over. So yeah, that's basically the week. That's basically how the week has gone. And now I'm going to go back to these things to, I guess, fill in the gaps that I've left that I think could be better told. So let's see, Control O, resolutions 2025. Sitios, not today, bloop. Keep a regular schedule of physical activity. Can I do this? Let's see. Okay, so the reason why I thought this was a status update is because a lot of things like fit here. Control O only opened the Explorer for me. Is it some setting or something with the Spanish keyboard? Control O, here it opens this menu, like this, looking at things, right? In this application, it's called Obsidian. It's what it does, right? So you can look up any page that you have. Yeah, for example, the sitios list, right? I don't know what happens if I do it, for example, on Edge. Yeah, on Edge, it's Control O open, I guess. I guess here it's also Control O open, right? It just opens something within your vault. It's like lets you search. Okay, so yeah, updates on New Year's resolution. Keep a regular schedule of physical activity. 3 times a week. Well, I'm going to, and then here I put my comments. I'm going to cross it. Yes, a couple of exceptions. When I was sick, well, let's see. Yes, but not fully. A couple of exceptions when I was sick, plus it wasn't usually like lately, it plus lately slash after being sick, it was more like 20 minutes instead of 30. Today I did 45 though, so regularly check. Nah. Not really. Not really. I'm not checking my sitios. I'm not, let's say, reviewing my sitios list regularly. I do add things. And I add a lot of things to Munich lists on Google Maps though. So it's not a check, but it's like spiritual check, right? So kinda spiritual check. Spiritual check. Lol. Write 100 journal entries. This one I'm failing. Complete failure. I mean, I still have time. I have time, but I'm not. But I haven't done my part. I haven't done my part. Make at least 10 YouTube videos. Yeah, I think so, right? On track status update wise, but I haven't cleared backlog. Video about AI, for example, videos about AI plus running, the conversation that I made with Brian podcast episode. I guess those are the biggest ones, and then the other channel ones, right? Other channel one, because that channel, I opened the channel, I never actually edited the video and never uploaded it, so yeah. Start studying 2 weeks before an exam or as soon as I get notified of the exam. I think I've been doing this. I think I've cleared this one. So far that the exams have been really accessible, but I have prepared adequately, I would say. Anki deck vocabulary, generally did homework, although slacked at the end, lul, and built the website, right? Built website for stupid end test. I think those are things that helped. If I would write down everything I think I failed, I would probably stop doing anything. I don't mind. Like, I know that I failed these things, right? That I write them, it doesn't matter, right? Make money at least once and more than 100. Not did it, but worked towards it. But I don't know. But yeah, opportunity appeared. And yeah, let's go to talk to this thing, opportunity, right? So because this is a status update, I guess, right? It's like I wanted to update on the fact that I did, I guess, yeah, this is new. No, this is not news, but the update is that I have this on Monday, right? So on Monday, how should I approach this, right? How should I think about this opportunity on Monday for this kind of computer web development front end job, side job? The problem is that I'm not sure if it's clear whether, because the test is full time, but I'm not going to be full. I don't know. I'm not clear on the details, but yeah, it's like how should I approach this opportunity, right? I feel like since one of my resolutions was to make money online at least once, I feel like I should kind of go a little bit hard at it, right? For example, what I've called here, grab it and bag it, even if I have to push, right? So for example, tonight after I come home or whatever, to start, to dive deep into this kind of front end things, to watch a lot of YouTube tutorials to try to build a little site using AI or something, right? To like understand, to analyze my, to be able to explain my, I don't know, not sure if interview ready, more of like to be ready to build, right? To like incorporate myself, to ask Claude, to at least, the beginning would be to ask Claude and to start talking it out with Claude. But I don't know, like what, like if also if it comes to a point where I am interviewing, right? And there is like this interview dynamic, should I play myself up to kind of like go grab it, right? It's like this opportunity came, let's fucking grab it. Or should I keep it honest, right? It's like keep it honest and humble, or keep it like grabbing. Since I did have like the make money online at least once goal, right? It's like I feel like if I set that as a resolution, I should be working towards it. But also, I feel like I should work towards it my way, right? So I don't know. Because the other alternative is kind of like flow, and if it works with how I'm going to roll, that's good. And if it's not, it's all right. For example, if I just don't do any prep, right, and I raw dog it, I go there and I react how it comes, right, to the situations, how they come. If it turns out that I can't work with that workflow or whatever, it's all right. I tried the interview or whatever. I accepted the opportunity. I simply didn't rise up to the task, right? It's like that is going to be the mindset. Like if it doesn't happen, that's going to be the mindset anyways, right? But should I do extra to try to get it or not? Because, for example, will it ever occur that an opportunity like this appears? Right? Will people DM me for front-end jobs like this quickly? I don't think so, right? So maybe I should try to like give my best impression. I don't know. I am quite honest in basically every scenario, and now I'm working with customers. I need to learn when to just shut my mouth. Lol. Yeah, maybe a little bit of mouth shutting I could do well with, right? For example, or like try to come up with better wordings, right? Of things that are true, but the better wording, right? For example, instead of like, I've never actually worked on any company doing any kind of front-end code, right? Maybe like, the Python code that I did, it's like I don't know. I read a lot of Python code in my internship, kind of, and also, or instead of saying like, I didn't really finish the bootcamp, saying something like, I learned a lot about the things that I learned up to that point, or I learned what I learned there. I don't know. Figuring out the approach, like the nice words, the nice wording, right? And I think I will just ask Sammy the person who sent me the thing. What should I prepare? In fact, I'm going to do it now on here. Something like, hey, hey, one quick question. Do you think, do you recommend something specific for me to look up this weekend that could be helpful for the trial? I'm going over some concepts. I don't know. I'm doing my own research, etc. My own research in quotes. My own research and prep. But just in case you have some recs. Yeah, you have some recs. Concrete recs. Sent. No, when you say AI, I'll ask Sammy. I thought it is the name of another AI chatbot. Who knows? These days you never know, but I think she's a human. Okay, this cleared. Boom. So yeah, that ties to the online thing as I mentioned. And then next part of the update, I guess. So well, prelude to this topic. This is just a topic. I wanted to talk a little bit about this topic in regular YouTube video form. I'm not going to record. I don't think so. But I wanted to reflect on this. But before, a prelude, right? Why am I thinking about this topic, right? And it's because this week update, I've discovered this channel, Internet Shakil. And this guy is like some guy who makes cooking videos, but the cooking videos are great. And they inspired this tweet of mine. Let's see. Well, let's send this tweet. From Costco Drift Cooking. Most recent, this. Cooking YouTube, but especially American cooking YouTube, is simply on a whole other level all on information density, presentation and cinematography, pacing, scientific rigor, ability to distill complexity. I keep being amazed at what they're doing. And it was a video by him. And then, like this video in concrete, which is a video that is like 7 years old or something. Oh no, only 2 years old apparently. But yeah, this video, it's like well recorded, well shot, well laid. The information is greatly laid out. Yeah, good camera quality, right? Great information presentation. It's a great video, right? And I'm noticing that a lot of these kind of great videos happen by cooking channels, right? It's like cooking channels have some of the best videos overall, right? Like in general, density of information, right? Because, for example, there are also a lot of YouTube channels that are great in general, right? But in cooking YouTube, it seems like there are also like a lot of just people recording with a phone a recipe, but it's like the top of the top is like so good that it's pretty crazy, right? I've talked about this before, but this was like another instance of it. And the thing about it is that he makes also additionally videos about like a lot of instructional videos about cooking, but also he made a video about how to make a video of his, right? Of like his principles to making a good video. And I thought like, whoa, that's crazy, right? And in this video, he mentioned generosity, right? So it's like he's walking the walk, right? He's just like recording this video being generous and giving you the tips, etc. And within that frame, he doesn't qualify that as that generous because he says, I could have done a better job being generous, right? I could have made it step by step. I could have made the videos, instead of a 38-minute video, I could have made chapters and like a shorter video, blah, blah, right? Or a course, he could have formatted it in a course and gave it for free, right? He has like his own generosity framework, but I think that it is still like walking the walk, right? And he mentioned that generosity thing. And I was like, interesting, right? Let me see where am I being generous, if it applies to me or if not. So I read that Amazon wants to remove the feature that Alexa... That Amazon wants to remove the feature that Alexa doesn't send all voice commands over to the server, and below it was just unexpected and surprising. Oh, yeah, classic Jeff Bezos thing, right? I didn't know that was a feature. How does it work if it doesn't send the commands online? I thought it did it by default, right? I guess it's... totally unexpected for me. It's so unexpected that I expected that it was already happening. Like there was a feature that Alexa calculates everything locally, and they are removing that. Interesting. I thought that didn't exist. Like I didn't know that Alexa could work like that. Oh well. So basically, back to me, and stop talking about this guy, right? Yeah, he's good, blah blah blah. But back to me, the important person here. So he made me think about this topic, right? So I was like, okay, he seems like a generous guy in that own sense, right? He seems to walk the walk. Let's see. Let's play the clip. Why not? Control F, generosity.
Rhythms and such, because I think there's a number of topics. At the top of these notes is a list called biases, because I realize I'm a heavily biased person. A lot of this stuff is not going to be how to be successful on YouTube or how to have a really popular course online, because I think there's enough information out there regarding how to do that, how to chase the algorithms and such. And so this is more of like a Seth Godin head's perspective and not so much a Gary V hustle head, rise and grind culture type of video. I think that a lot of attention is paid on gaining notoriety, and this is more so focused on applying generosity. And that's the word that I use the most when I talk about this sort of stuff, and I wish it wasn't, because it sounds like I'm canonizing myself. Like I'm this huge saint for making 5-minute long YouTube videos, but generosity really is the only way I've found to frame this sort of stuff. Like this video that I'm making right now isn't entirely very generous. I'm just sitting here in front of a green screen. I'm going to send this off to an editor to take care of. If I was being really generous, I would have turned it into a course or a book, given it away for free, done the hard work of formatting all this stuff into something that's more digestible and applies to more people. But you get what you get in this case. And I think the more generous you can be, the more successful you stand to be as well. I think it's a direct correlation if you want it to be. And I think the way that I see it is, the example that I like to give is if you see somebody doing something cool and you say, oh, that looks easy, I could do that. That's not a very generous interpretation of the cool thing that you saw. However, if you said, that looks cool, that looks rewarding, I should try that, I think that's somebody who's more likely to produce work in a generous way. And I say produce work. I want to get this out there now. This is not about how to make content. I think the idea of content as a meme word proliferated in a way that doesn't really matter anymore. But content was always a word for like Procter and Gamble to populate their Instagram. Like,
I've
you
said
should
this.
not
I think I've literally said this somewhere.
aim to make content. You should aim to make work that matters for people who care. There's my first of what will probably be many Seth Godin references. I think that once you start to see your work, as a body of work, you're less likely to write it off as just content. And I think that's probably a good thing. Back to generosity, I saw this video one time. It was probably 15 minutes long, where a guy experimented with making a bunch of different whipped creams and using a bunch of different stabilizing techniques and extra ingredients to show which stabilized whipped cream stays whipped the longest. That is a very generous act to do all of that work in the hopes of helping people make the most long-lasting whipped cream. So that's what I mean about generosity. And the second...
And I thought it was an interesting concept, right? And I was like, okay, where in my channel am I applying this? Because obviously, streaming per se is not that generous, right? It's more like hanging out, right? Hanging out isn't that generous. It's just like there is an aspect of it, of sharing, right? But also, it's also just hanging out, right? So it was like, when were the videos where I was trying to be generous? Have I actually made these things or not? I guess the tutorial things here, for example, I think these, actually the video, well, let's see. Videos on YouTube. Let's new recommendation. Internet Shaquille. Boom. Yeah, I guess these are more diary type videos, right? Keep in mind the non-ergodicity of staying alive. I think this channel is just mostly documenting, right? Documenting my history with phones, documenting blah, 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 right? Reacting to music, but analyzing music has given me some views. Was that generous? I think so, right? I think it is generous in the sense that he mentioned, for example, right? He mentioned this generosity regarding you watch someone skateboarding and you're like, that's useless, right? Or like, that looks so easy. Versus being like, whoa, that's interesting, right? So I feel like in that sense, reacting to music is actually generous, right? Because it's trying to give the benefit of the doubt to someone and try to to make it seem, it's like applying an interpretation of something that is generous, right? It's like interpreting their work as something that has care, that has love, that has references that connect to previous work or like to current events, blah, 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 right? That connect to different aspects of life, right? So maybe I think those videos were actually pretty generous, and I think that does translate into the relative amount of views, right? It's not just jumping on a trend, I guess, right? I think that's, why people care, right? People care to see generous interpretations about stuff. That's interesting, right? Let's see. I'm going to write that. I think that was a good line. People care to see generous interpretations about stuff. And here, reactions. I think some of my most generous videos in the way Shaq defines them could be music reactions. People care to see the references, finding and understanding references, etc. To previous music, other artists, cultural context, etc. Wasn't that something you said in the beginning? Like you wanted to make something for yourself to watch back on later? Yeah. I think there is an aspect of generosity there also, right? It's like, I guess most of my things, right? Let's see. Copy paste. Most of the stuff. Bloop, honey. Well, actually, let's put 2 honey. Colon. No, just 1. Wasn't there something? Yes. I think it is self-generosity, right? I think it is not generosity towards the world, but I think it's like a first step, right? It's like a first step of like, I don't give a fuck about even myself, right? Versus, at least I care about myself, right? It's like, I think this will be useful for the future, right? I think it's like I give myself the benefit of the doubt, right? It's like, okay, I don't know. I can't see how this could possibly be useful for anyone ever. But stopping there and being like, okay, let's give myself the benefit of the doubt and put it there anyways, right? It's like, even if it sounds stupid, let's trust that maybe not everything, but at least something will be useful for me, future me, right? Yeah, something like that. I like that. Thank you. Giving myself the benefit of the doubt, even if it's not obviously useful or whatever. It's being open to it being useful in the future. When I saw you paste my text, I was thinking, if I make so many mistakes while writing, like I know I write wasn't and not wasn't, but the rest I was pretty confident in. Lol. I didn't copy paste, for example, this. this. The saftiges Lamstrak mit geriebenem Fetakäse überbacken bis Mittagssoße. Because I think that is wrong. And I wasn't sure if this was right. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to type it myself. But I did copy paste the thing below, right? The Othu thing, right? Yeah, Utho, the Utho thing. This, by the way, Utho. I did copy paste that. Okay, let's scroll a little bit. I'm satisfied with the conclusion, to be honest, with these two conclusions. Where am I being? Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's make a video. 44. Quick enough. And oops. Monsters transcripción. Should I just play it again? I think I'm going to play it again.
Number of topics. At the top of these notes is take this format and apply it to any number of topics. At the top
When am I being generous on YouTube? To define generosity, I'm going to just play this clip by Internet Shakil that I think explains it really well.
top of these notes is a list called biases because I realize I'm a heavily biased person. A lot of this stuff is not going to be how to be successful on YouTube or how to have a really popular course online, because I think there's enough information out there regarding how to do that, how to chase the algorithms and such. And so this is a lot of attention is paid on gaining notoriety, and this is more so focused on applying generosity. And that's the word that I use the most when I talk about this sort of stuff. And I wish it wasn't, because it sounds like I'm canonizing myself, like I'm this huge saint for making 5-minute long YouTube videos. But generosity really is the only way I've found to frame this sort of stuff, like digestible and applies to more people. But you get what you get in this case. And I think the more generous you can be, the more successful you stand to be as well. I think it's a direct correlation if you want it to be. And I think the way that I see it is, the example that I like to give is if you see somebody doing something cool and you say, oh, that looks easy, I could do that. That's not a very generous interpretation of the cool thing that you saw. However, if you said, that looks cool, that looks rewarding, I should try that, I think that's somebody who's more likely to produce work in a generous way. And I say produce work. I want to get this out there now. This is not about how to make content. I think the idea of content as a meme word proliferated in a way that doesn't really matter anymore, but content was always a word for like
Oops.
the idea of content as a meme word proliferated in a way that doesn't really matter anymore, but content was always a word for like Procter and Gamble to populate their Instagram. Like, you should not aim to make content. You should aim to make work that matters for people who care. There's my first of what will probably be many Seth Godin references. I think that once you start to see your work, as a body of work, you're less likely to write it off as just content. And I think that's probably a good thing. Back to generosity, I saw this video one time. It was probably 15 minutes long, where a guy experimented with making a bunch of different whipped creams and using a bunch of different stabilizing techniques and extra ingredients to show which stabilized whipped cream stays whipped the longest. That is a very generous act to do all of that work in the hopes of helping people make the most long-lasting whipped cream. So that's what I mean about generosity.
Okay, before continuing the video, I wanted to add one last thing, which is that timestamping. My timestamping is generous IMO. And within this context of generosity, with that definition of thinking about generosity, I was like, that's interesting, right? I was kind of inspired by watching that video and was like, where am I being generous? Does it apply to me? What he's saying is my purpose on YouTube to be generous or whatever, right? Am I embodying that? And if so, when? If not so, am I going to ever do it? Yeah. So this is what I'm going to try to answer it on this video. I was doing an overview of my channel or something like this, and I noticed that a couple of videos that have, I guess, that have stood out a little bit have been these music review videos. This one doesn't have a lot of views, like 100, but among the others, 30 views, 4 views, it stands out a little bit, right? And I have, like, my most successful video of this 100 video series has been a music review from a kind of an up-and-coming artist from here. And yeah, I don't want to like make a toot my own horn or whatever, but I think going back to his like skateboard, seeing someone skateboard and being like, ooh, that's cool, versus being like, whoa, that's so easy. I feel like my music reaction videos have achieved that a little bit of success, right? Because they are probably one of my most, I guess, generous in general in this definition, right? Because people, I think, care to see these generous interpretations about music, about cultural stuff, right? Finding and understanding references to previous music, other artists, cultural contexts, etc. People care about it. And I think that's one example of my videos that have been the most generous, you could say. Then, for most of my channel, I have stated, I think a couple of times, as someone in chat, Hania, reminded me of, that, yeah, wasn't that something you said in the beginning, like you wanted to make something for yourself to watch back on later? Because that is, I guess, my stated purpose of this channel is basically documenting, archival, etc., right? And I wondered, where is the generosity there, right? And I have, I guess, a couple of things that I do think have a certain sense of generosity, even though it's not evident, right? But I'm explaining them, I don't know, so it gets recorded, right? I think one of them is like self-generosity in a sense, right? It's going from a state of like, not generosity, right? Of being like, who gives a fuck, versus giving yourself a fuck, right? So giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. For example, in these videos, I am giving myself the benefit of the doubt, even if it's not evidently useful, or like it's not obvious why would this be useful in the future. It's kind of being open to it in the future, to it being useful in the future, right? It's being open to this video of me not saying that I don't like the word niche, or me this video talking with a parasocially talking with some YouTuber, right? Of being open to those things being useful for future me in some context, right? And I think that is, in a sense, generosity, even though it's not as widely applicable as like actual generosity in making videos, that as Shaq mentions it. And then another thing that I think is generous that I do regularly is this time stamping. I think this time stamping and structuring of information and like linking of the material that I mentioned in the video down in the description, I think it's a pretty base level, but still over like way above many other channels. I think it is generous in a sense, right? It is trying to help people structure this information, or help more than people, myself, right? Try to help my future self in finding what parts could be interesting when to myself, right? Now that I think about it, why does it mark so many words red? Like on top it's English and not marked red. I hadn't checked. I think because my keyboard is in Spanish. Maybe, let's see. No, the dictionary is Spanish. I think it doesn't have to do with keyboard settings. I think like behind the scenes, I think this is just like Electron or something like this, right? It's probably like one of these. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't exactly know what is going on behind the scenes, but I know it's kind of Chromium based, probably, right? So I've probably this is kind of some kind of browser, right? So maybe this kind of text corrector or something is like the one that defaults from having Google Chrome or whatever. Let's see. Display language, editor, spell check, Spanish. Oh, it has Spanish. Let's say add English. And let's add German to Germany in general. I guess it does have this spell check. I guess it adds by default the system language or whatever to the spell check, but I guess it would make sense to add the interface language as well. But yeah, it's probably like an internal spell checker. I guess I also would have to like close and open again, right? Oh yes, and now it's clean. Well, not fully clean. Okay, the problem now is that I have another thing to do here. What do I add to the when or why? And I think and the last thing, if not at this moment, when and why, I have a couple of projects, right? Couple of projects that are more generosity focused. Let's see. And for the last point, which was something like, yeah, if not at this moment, when or why, I think that I will pivot eventually, or not sure if pivot, but additionally, I will also make videos that are intended to be more generous. The problem, and I do have like a couple of projects that are, I guess, more generosity focused in that sense, but I don't have the generosity approach, I guess, that internalized. So they are still kind of maybe not that generous. I don't know. I don't know how to word it. But for example, I have a project that is how AI helped me run 10K, right? Because I think it's useful. It could be useful for people to learn how I did it, right? But I also don't want to be too prescriptive. So there's always a sense in which I can't find the right frame for it. But I have a couple of projects like that also pending. The problem is that my ideas are mostly never that generous. Most of my ideas are, I guess, more random, right? Or I guess curiosity based rather than generosity based, you could say, right? But yeah, this is the way I think about generosity right now, thanks to this video by Shakil. And yeah. You can watch this video next called You Should Watch Cooking Videos on YouTube, because I think Shaq is an embodiment of this phenomenon, of these YouTube cooking channels being so great. So yeah, watch that if you found this video interesting. Bye. I thought it's because of the Spanish thing, but it was split since the top of part was English and not marked, and the bottom was also English but all red and confused. I guess now it makes sense. Maybe when I collapse this, it gets glitched or something, right? Maybe when I collapse these things, they glitch a little bit. Now it feels a little bit empty without the red lines. Let's see. Create. Final. $23.15. You know what's my problem with AI still? That it's still not good enough. For example, if I want to make a thumbnail for this video, I know it's not a good thumbnail, what it will generate. For example, I copy paste the transcript of this video. I say, could you make a good thumbnail for this video? Or like, do you have good idea? Let's see. Let's test it out. Let's test ChatGPT and be like, the problem is with ChatGPT, I have this prompt, But yeah, let's try it out. I have just recorded this video. The video I pasted below. Well, the script. Do you have any ideas of what could a good thumbnail for the video be? Because, for example, I have no fucking idea what could make a good video thumbnail for this video. Still processing. Okay, let's do this. When am I being generous on YouTube? To define generosity, I'm going to just play this clip by Internet Shakil that I think explains it really well.
Top of these notes is
Lol, I was checking some things on the site and found a sign with an emotional saying. Normally it says träume nicht dein Leben, sondern lebe deine Träume. Don't dream your life, live your dream. But instead it's träume nicht dein Leben, sondern halt einfach dein Maul. Don't dream your life, just shut the fuck up. Lol. I simply träum mein Leben. Just that. That's it. I don't like any of those two sayings. Idea. The generous hand. A close-up of your hand reaching out, open-palmed, symbolizing generosity. Overlay a subtle image of music notes, timestamps, or video editing elements in the background. A title text could say, am I being generous or generosity on YouTube? A thoughtful pose of you staring into the distance as though considering a deep question. Overlaying symbols, blah blah blah. Timestamp magic. Visually striking thumbnail. Let's see. Sony full screen. Let's remove the chroma key. What are the effects here? Filtros, chroma, disable. It's so difficult to do screenshots of like. Should I record a little video and then? Let's see. Let's remove this. Oops. Open it. Then Then when do I smile? Let's see, this one works. Medio. Isn't there like a tool to make an image? Captura pantalla. Okay, pictures. Screenshots? No. Okay, let's see. Herramientas. Video, captura pantalla. VLC snap. Oh, it's straight up here. Can you edit the background? I think it can do it, right? To add your ideas. No, sorry, I cannot do that. Let's see. Gemini AI Studio. Wait, what the fuck? Gemini 2 Flash image generation. Control V, no. Copiar imagen. Control V. Type something. Wait, where the fuck is it? This. Let's remove this text overlay. Run. I thought it was funny. I just leave, I guess. That would be my saying. I could make a screenshot of this stream and send it to you to Discord, but I think the quality would drop with it all. Whoa. Wait, what the fuck? That's not bad. Okay, I like AI now. Let's see. When am I being generous on YouTube? Subir. Can't I drag and drop it? Yes, I can drag and drop it. Let's see. Not gonna lie, I would have expected less. Yeah, same. This model is actually pretty new, and it's like in experimental phase. That's why it's free also, because it's experimental. Do I have a chat history library? Prompt gallery? No. Oh, by the way, look at this. Well, let's see. Yeah, I asked, for example, this stream, what, like I posted a picture of my car, and I asked it, what car is it? And for example, Claude is really good. Posted he this. Guess what car is this? And it's like the image shows a white Ford Focus hatchback parked in an underground parking garage. The car has a Spanish license. It read the license plate wrong, but and appears to be a third generation Focus 2011 to 2018 model, likely the titanium trim based on the multi-spoke alloy wheels. This is spot on. Then I asked if you had to guess what year, blah 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 blah. And what's your final guess? 2012 Ford Focus titanium. It's literally this. I mean, like AI, it's really good. Nice, you nailed the demo. Now I asked what engine do you think it has, and now it fails, right? It has the 1.0 EcoBoost, but yeah, it gave a reasonable guesses, I guess. I'm not sure if the 1.0 EcoBoost was in 2012. I think it was the main engine, main 2012, and the 1.0 was new. That's why it's failing so much on our car. And I talked about it with this. Blah, blah. Actually, today, my brother. Well, actually, timing is crazy. A couple days ago, my brother was driving it, and the check engine light came on again. Bruh. Oh no, that's when the check engine light strikes again. That's some serious unfortunate timing right after we were discussing its reliability. A check engine light could be something minor like a loose gas cap or blah blah blah. Hopefully it's something simple. It might be worth getting an OBD reader. They're relatively inexpensive. I hope it turns out to be something minor. Yeah, my brother's taking it to the shop on Monday. I hope so as well. I can only recreate stuff it has seen. I recently got recommended a video where someone was asking AI to generate a completely full glass of wine. Yeah, like to the brim, and it was not working. I saw that as well. It was interesting. But I don't know, it's like, it's flashes like this that amaze me, right? For example, Gemini, this one, I asked it the same thing and it got a couple of things wrong, right? So I could still correct it. I was like, okay, don't you think that the chrome window settings and the wheels tell you something about the trim level? And it was like, I think it's trend. And I was like, no, it's actually titanium, right? So I was like smarter. But Claude is right. It was like it guessed it, right? The problem is that for the moment, I still have to like take all of these AIs together, and I have to know which one to use for which thing, right? So if I ask Gemini one thing, it doesn't do, but it can do the image things, it can do it very well, right? I don't know. There is no one AI to rule them all yet, right? Even though all of them want to be that. When am I being generous on YouTube? To define generosity, I'm going to just play this clip by Internet Shakil that I think... Scheiße. I guess I just have to do this. Like that, and like this. He explains it really well.
Top of these
00 context. Internet Shakil clip about generosity.
notes is I realize I'm a heavily biased person. A lot of this stuff, the word that I use is the more people, and I think the way that I speak is a generous way. And I say produce people who care. There's my first of what will probably be many sets where a guy experimented with making a bunch of different whipped creams and using a bunch of different stabilizing techniques and extra ingredients to show which stabilized whipped cream stays whipped the longest. That is a very generous act to do all of that work in the hopes of helping people make the most long-lasting whipped cream. So that's what I mean about generosity.
Well, it's actually less than 232. And within this context of generosity, with that definition of thinking about generosity, I was like, that's interesting. Right? I was kind of inspired by watching the video. I was like, where am I being generous? Does it apply to me? What he's saying is my purpose on YouTube to be generous or whatever. Right? Am I embodying that? And if so, when? If not so, am I going to ever do it? Yeah. So this is what I'm going to try to answer it on this video. I was example 1. Music reviews. Analysis. Doing an overview of my channel or something like this, and I noticed that a couple of videos that have, I guess, that have stood out a little bit have been these music review videos. This one doesn't have a lot of views, like 100, but among the others, 30 views, 4 views, it stands out a little bit. And I have, like, my most successful video of these 100 views has been a music review from a kind of an artist from here. And yeah, I don't want to, like, make a toot my own horn or whatever, but I think going back to his, like, skateboard, seeing someone skateboard and being like, oh, that's cool, versus being like, whoa, that's so easy. I feel like music reaction videos, my music reaction videos, have achieved that little bit of success, right? Because they are probably one of my most, I guess, generous in general in this definition, right? Because people, I think, care to see these generous interpretations about music, about cultural stuff, right? Finding and understanding references to previous music, other artists, cultural context, etc. People care about it. And I think that's one example of my videos that have been the most generous, you could say. Then, for most of my I think that's one example of my videos that have been the most generous, you could say. Then, for most of my channel, I have stated, I think a couple of times, as someone in chat, Hania, reminded me of, that, yeah, wasn't that something you said in the beginning, like you wanted to make something for yourself to watch back on later? Because that is, I guess, my stated purpose of this channel is basically documenting, archival, etc., right? And I wondered, where is the generosity there, right? And I have, I guess, a couple of things that I do think have that certain sense of generosity, even though it's not evident, right? But I'm explaining them, I don't know, so it gets recorded, right? I think one of them is like self-generosity in a sense, right? It's going from a state of, like, not generosity, right, of being like, who gives a fuck, versus giving yourself a fuck, right? So giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. For example, in these videos, I am giving myself the benefit of the doubt, even if it's not evidently useful, or like it's not obvious why would this be useful in the future. It's kind of being open to it in the future, to it being useful in the future, right? It's being open to this video of me not saying that I don't like the word niche, of me this video talking with talking with some YouTuber, right? Of being open to those things being useful for future me in some context, right? And I think that is, in a sense, generosity, even though it's not as widely applicable as like actual generosity in making videos, but as Shaq mentioned it. And then another thing that I think is generous that I do regularly is this time stamping. I think this time stamping and structuring of information and like linking of the material that I mentioned in the video down in the description, I think it's probably at base level, but still over, like, way above many other channels. I think it is generous in a sense, right? It is trying to help people structure this information, or help more than people, myself, right? Try to help my future self in finding what parts could be interesting when to myself, right? And for the last point, which was something like, yeah, if not at this moment, when or why? For the last point, which was something like, yeah, if not at this moment, when or why? I think that I will pivot eventually, or not really pivot, but additionally, I will also make videos that are intended to be more generous. The problem, and I do have like a couple of projects that are, I guess, more generosity focused in that sense, but I don't have the generosity approach, I guess, that internalized, so they are still kind of maybe not that generous. I don't know how to word it, but for example, I have a project that is how AI helped me run 10K, right? Because I think it's useful, it could be useful for people to learn how I did it, right? But I also don't want to be too prescriptive. It 10K, right? Because I think, for example, I have a project that is how AI helped me run 10K, right? Because I think it's useful. It could be useful for people to learn how I did it, right? But I also don't want to be too prescriptive. So there's always a sense in which I can't find the right frame for it. But I have a couple of projects like that also pending. The problem is that my ideas are mostly never that generous. Most of my ideas are, I guess, more random, right? Or, I guess, curiosity based rather than generosity based, you could say. Right? But yeah, this is the way I think about generosity right now, thanks to this video by Shakil. And yeah, you can watch this video. right now, thanks to this video by Shaquille. And yeah, you can watch this video next called "You Should Watch Cooking Videos on YouTube." What the fuck? You should watch. You can watch. You can and yeah, you can watch this video next. Yeah, you can watch this video next called "You Should Watch Cooking Videos on YouTube" because I think Shaq is an embodiment of this phenomenon of these YouTube cooking channels being so great. So yeah, watch that if you found this video interesting. Bye. Okay. So now links. Oops. Close, 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 close. This is an editor. Timestamp example. How to make an internet Shaquille video. My music reviews. Spanish. Do I have to seriously? Hola, voy a hacer una reacción. Oops. So weird hearing me talking Spanish. Playlist. I don't really hear you speak Spanish often. I speak it often, but yeah, not on the stream. Oh, by the way, this is an idea I had. I mean, not relevant for right now, but I think in Germany, when I am in German, I'm going to switch from streaming twice, so like Sunday, only the weekends. I think I will probably stream a weekday, not sure which one, and I think I may switch to like one day Spanish, one day English, and one day German, like to practice. We'll see, but that was something that was going through my head, so that I have a day where my friends can come in to stream, and yeah, we can just chat about random things. Just to have it open, like not even posting the link every week to my group chat of friends, right? Just like if they want. I don't really like to hear myself speak in general either. But in English, I don't know. It's like I'm used to it, more used to it, I guess. In Spanish, I'm not. I'm really not used to it. But I've edited videos on myself in Spanish, and like eventually I get used to. Like you get used to it. At least I get used to it. But yeah, now it shocked me a little bit. Also, I think I speak a little bit differently, right? I think when I'm speaking English, I'm kind of more, I don't know, more cautious. When I'm speaking in Spanish, I feel like I'm more cocky, a little bit. Like I sound cockier for some reason, like more irreverent or like more, like yeah, more careless. While in English, I think I sound like a little bit more measured. I don't know. That's I guess my personal impression. Not even sure if it's true, to be honest. But depending on the day and time, I might be at work. Yeah, that's interesting. I would have to make one of the weekend days Spanish, I guess, if I want my friends to be there. Or like to, yeah, if I want to, because all of them, well, not all of them, but at least two of them work. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe every once in a while I'll make a vlog in Spanish or something like this. Munich vlog. Or I'll stop. No, I guess I won't stop, but we'll see how it evolves. Okay, tweet the video. When am I being generous on YouTube? And let's bring this AI generated image. Bloop. Post there. Fuck it, let's put this tweet there. And I have to link the final video as well, like the end credit video. Related tweet. music reviews, playlist, time success sample, resolution. You should watch cooking videos. Wait, let's see. From Coscore Drift, breaking the parasocial. What if I paste this? Does my video appear? Yes, nice. Okay. Crazy how uploading a 7-minute long video that I record in one take and don't even edit extends stream length by like 37 minutes just because of all the time stamping and random shit that I do. Anyways, next week I might stream more, but I don't promise 7 days. Nor 6 days. Probably less than 6 days, but probably more than 2. We'll see. So yeah, see you definitely next weekend, but probably even earlier. We'll see if you are online or not. I don't know the time. Time is usually the same, but yeah, I don't know if you will be at work or whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and yeah, see you next week. If you're here, obviously. Happens. Yeah. Oxygen if I don't have workload. Yeah. Or if you're not eating Greek food or something like that. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if you know this person. Let's see. Betel Essen. Betel Essen. Ah, yeah, Betel Food Fest. This girl, I think, is from Berlin, and she makes a lot of videos about like viral recipes or whatever. Maybe it's interesting. I've been watching a lot of her videos like about Munich, but I think she is from Berlin. I hate how she speaks low-key, because she basically speaks half English words, and it kind of bothers me. I'm not a purist in Spanish either. I follow a YouTuber that I like a lot. She does this constantly, also like putting random words in English in the middle of speaking in Spanish. But for some reason in German, and when she's talking about food, it bothers me. Yeah, for example, virale, food spots. I don't know, well, in Spanish it's the same, right? It's viral. It's sitios virales. But I don't know, hearing the word food spot in German, I don't know, kind of makes me a little bit angry, right? And also, I don't like how she describes food. I think I know the 4 words she uses already because she uses only like 4 words. It's like lecker and super. She uses like super mega. She uses like all of those words, like mega lecker, super lecker, or like mega saftig, like saftig, juicy, something like juicy or something, and a couple others. She always uses the same words. And I think it's too repetitive. But I don't know. Like as I said a couple of times, when learning a language, I don't mind repetition that much. But I don't know. It's starting to be a bit annoying. I don't really watch food stuff in the first place. Yeah, I do watch a lot of it. Budapest.
Ist ein Urlaub in Budapest wirklich so günstig, wie alle sagen? Was das Essen angeht, schauen wir uns das in diesem Video heute genauer an. Ich zeige euch klassisch ungarische, aber auch sehr gehypte Foodspots in Budapest. Ich zeige euch, was die
gehypte.
Kosten und wir schauen, ob sie sich lohnen. Let's go! Wir starten mit einem absoluten Klassiker der ungarischen Küche, Langosch. In diesem Laden hier gibt es sehr spezielle, dick belegte Langoschs, die aber auch etwas teurer sind. Denn der Laden liegt direkt in der Innenstadt und ist mega beliebt. Man bekommt hier eigentlich immer zu jeder Bestellung noch einen kleinen Donut dazu. Alles schmeckt sehr, sehr lecker. Und den 4-Käse-Langosch kann ich sehr empfehlen, 10 von 10. Danach wollte ich unbedingt zum Café in das schönste Café der Welt. Das habe nicht ich mir ausgedacht, sondern dieses Café selbst. Es ist aus den 1890er Jahren und sieht immer noch ziemlich genauso aus wie damals. Es wird Live-Musik gespielt. Und alleine die Atmosphäre ist natürlich wunderschön. 12 von 10 schon mal dafür. Das Essen hier ist sehr lecker, aber definitiv nichts Besonderes. Und für den Preis einfach ein bisschen zu teuer. Ich würde euch empfehlen, trinkt hier eher nur einen Kaffee und kommt für die Atmosphäre her. Mich der Palatschink ein bisschen unzufrieden zurückgelassen hat, geht's danach an eine Gulaschsuppe. Das ungarische Gericht schlechthin bekommt ihr in einem stylischen Lokal mitten in der Innenstadt für um die 9 Euro mit Brot und einem kleinen Gruß aus der Küche. Genau richtig würzig und leicht scharf. Wirklich sehr lecker. 9 von 10. Wobei die im Bordbistro auch sehr geil war und nochmal deutlich günstiger. Als Nachtisch gibt's dann einen ungarischen Strudel. In diesem Strudelhaus, das schon seit Ewigkeiten existiert, werden den ganzen Tag über Strudel handgemacht. Und allein das zu sehen, ist schon ein Highlight meines Tages. Und als ich dann die riesige Strudelauswahl gesehen habe, war ich schon sehr begeistert. Denn es gibt von herzhaft zu süß und allen möglichen Füllungen wirklich jede Füllung, die ihr euch vorstellen könnt. Ich habe einmal Mohnkirsche genommen und Heidelbeerquark. Beides mega, mega lecker. Der
Mega lecker.
dünnste Strudelteig der Welt und jeweils 2 Euro. 12 von 10. Um den ersten Abend in Budapest gebührend ausklingen zu lassen, ist ein Besuch in einer Ruinenbar Pflicht. Die wohl bekannteste darunter ist das sogenannte Simpler Cat. Und hier trinke ich einen Drink mit Aperol für ca. 10 Euro. Aber auch hier muss man ehrlich sagen, das Erlebnis ist es auf jeden Fall wert. Die Bar ist riesig groß, man verirrt sich, toll beleuchtet und hinter jeder Ecke entdeckt man wieder einen anderen coolen Raum. 10 von 10 Erlebnis. Ich lieb's. 3 wichtige Budapester bzw. ungarische Spezialitäten fehlen uns jetzt aber noch. Der wahrscheinlich bekannteste Kuchen des Landes, die sogenannte Dobusch-Torte, soll vor allen Dingen in dieser Konditorei besonders gut sein. Und für 2,80 Euro ist es für mich eine 9 von 10. Sehr karamellig, sehr geiler Biskuitboden. Genial. Als Abendessen esse ich dann noch ein Paprikahähnchen, aber die vegetarische Version davon. Also Paprikapilze mit Spätzle für ca. 10 Euro. Auch das sehr, sehr lecker. Aber vielleicht noch ein
10 Babos, 10 Euros, holy shit.
klein bisschen mehr Pep in der Soße vertragen, 8,5 von 10. Und weil natürlich kein Budapest- bzw. Ungarn-Video zu Ende gehen darf, ohne einen Baumstriezel probiert zu haben, habe ich dann auf dem Weg zu meinem Hotel noch diesen Pistazienstriezel hier probiert. Der kostet 5 Euro, ist jeden Cent wert. Dick eingehüllt mit Pistazien und richtig crunchy plus
Richtig crunchy.
fluffiger Teig. Ich würde
Fluffiger Teig.
sagen, Budapest ist immer noch eine sehr preiswerte Destination.
Deshalb markiert jetzt eine Person, die mit euch nach Budapest fahren muss. Viel Spaß!
Ist ein
Some of the English words are very common at this point in German. I kind of forgot that part. Yeah. I guess in Germany there are less like hardcore. You should only speak in German, right? Sprichst Deutsch, du Hurensohn or whatever. Sprichst du Deutsch, Hurensohn, whatever. What I eat in Copenhagen, but then the video is in German. Bestest plus günstiges Hotel Budapest. Süßes. 24 Stunden nur Süßes in Wien essen. Liebs. Das aktuelle gehypteste Restaurant in Berlin. See, she makes a lot of videos about Berlin. Deutsches Mem-Schwimmbad. What the fuck?
Manche Gäste, darunter viele Flüchtlinge, können so gut wie gar nicht schwimmen. Auch diesen indischen Studenten fällt es schwer, den Kopf über Wasser zu halten. Dem Rettungsschwimmer ist das nicht geheuer. Er greift ein. Sie sollen im Nichtschwimmerbereich bleiben.
Während der Welle sind fast 2-3 Stück davon sind runtergegangen. Und deswegen nur habe ich, sag ich mal so, verwarnt, dass sie müssen sich bis zur Linie eigentlich halten und ja, nicht mehr in die Tiefe reinkommen.
Viele Nationalitäten, viele Sprachen. Das macht die Verständigung nicht leicht.
Eben wird er gerade untergegangen beinahe, oder?
Ja.
I didn't understand either, to be honest.
War das?
Das ist ja schon.
What the fuck? You almost drowned. Yeah. How was it? It was very nice. Okay, it's very funny. I assume it was something like that, but
Beendigung nicht leicht.
Eben wird er gerade untergegangen beinahe, oder? Beinahe, oder? Eben wird er gerade untergegangen beinahe, oder?
not even the subtitles get it right, to be honest. Huh?
Ja, ja.
Eben wird er gerade untergegangen beinahe, oder?
Ja, ja.
Das war sehr schön.
Wie war das?
Das ist sehr schön.
Okay, I said 10 minutes ago, thank you for watching, and that I'm going away. So yeah, now I am actually going away. Thank you for watching. Bis nächste Woche. Tschüss. Oh, wait, before. Let's see. Ah, no. Servus. I have like a PDF of bayerische Sprüche. Weiß ich nicht. Angwarden. Hock ich dicher da. Wiederschauen. Pferd die Gott. Wiederschauen. Wiederschauen.